Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. If you guys didn't already know, Zack Snyder held a fan screening of his 3 director cuts, Dawn of the Dead, The Watchmen, and this past Sunday, he showed the fans BvS, Dawn of Justice, and each of these events, he had live Q&As in which he answered questions from the fans and brought special guests out. And if you, I'm sure all of you guys know, ever since the Justice League debacle, Zack Snyder has slowly been releasing tidbits of information on Vero, teasing us about what we could have gotten in his version of the Justice League. And fans have been fighting tooth and nail for the past, year and a half since Justice League came out. Fans have been fighting. They started a movement, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And if you guys, whether or not you guys support that movement or not, you guys, and some of you guys in the comment section are in here too probably, there are those who don't believe that the cut exists, despite a lot of the evidence, a lot of the people working behind the scenes who have vocally confirmed that the cut does exist. Well, I'm here to tell you that after this weekend, we got confirmation that it does exist. Now, this confirmation comes from a Twitter user named Carlos Pro. Now, again, I don't know Carlos Pro, but the circle of YouTubers that I follow, along with a ton of diehard Zack Snyder fans, we were at the event this past weekend and took pictures with him, and were able to ask him questions, live questions, and even just have a conversation with him and meeting him in person. So Chris Pro goes on Twitter and says this: even though I wasn't able to ask my question during the Q&A, and I did get a chance to ask Zack Snyder face-to-face about the Snyder Cut, he said the movie is done, it exists, but basically it's up to WB. He's not aware that WB has any plans to release. Bittersweet, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. So there you go. For all the naysayers, fans have gotten to ask him in person, and Zack Snyder does the unthinkable. I would never think that a director in his position would be releasing all of this information. I'm not sure if he's still in the good graces of WB or not, but he is telling fans it does exist, and it's up to WB if they want to release it. Now, we've gotten confirmation before from people who work around the industry. We've gotten confirmation from Kevin Smith, who's spoken with people who worked on set. We've gotten confirmation from Chris Terio, who's Zack Snyder's storyboard artist and a director of many WB animated movies. We've gotten confirmation, and there are still naysayers out there. There's some naysayers in the comment section. So I'm not here to poke fun at you. I'm just here to say to all of you guys, and especially those who have been a part of this Release the Snyder Cut movement, we got confirmation it does exist. So it does feel good to finally get some confirmation, because if you watched our previous 2 videos, or at least in our reading the comments videos, me and Darren, the biggest thing we wanted to see coming out of this weekend is just confirmation. Let's lay it to rest. Does this cut exist or does it not exist? That doesn't mean I'm expecting Warner Brothers to release it, because business-wise, does it make sense? I don't know. You can probably make a little bit of money. We have a very loud and vocal fan base for Zack Snyder, but is it going to be worth paying all the royalties to all the actors who were involved in the movie? Is it practical to release it in theaters? Shoot, I hope so, but I'm not involved in the business aspect of things, so I'm keeping my I'd like to keep my hopes up, but to be honest, I'm not expecting WB to release it, at least in the near future. Maybe we get it 10, 20 years from now, but I'm just really happy to say that it does exist, and that means the Release the Snyder Cut movement is probably going to continue, and I'll be fighting the fight with you guys. But it's really cool to see that fans, they spoke with Zack Snyder, say he's the coolest guy in the world. Again, a lot of the pool of YouTubers that I follow were there, got to talk to him. I can't wait to see what they say, what the questions they were able to ask him. I'm sure the videos are going to be up soon, and I'll definitely be reporting on what I see and hear. But it's really cool to see that. And also, Zack Snyder, he released more information about behind the scenes from Batman vs Superman, as well as what would have happened in his plans for Justice League. Now, I also have done videos on his original plan for Justice League, because I'll link it right here as well. Kevin Smith did meet people who worked on set of the Justice League and filmed some of it, and they know about the future plans, and they've seen the storyboards, and Kevin Smith has seen the storyboards for what would have happened in Justice League. So we know some of that already, but we have some new tidbits from Zack Snyder that will also kind of blow your mind. And again, I'm not here to harp on the past or anything like that. I'm definitely down to move forward, and I'm definitely on board with where DC's going right now, because I am a DC fan. I loved Shazam, absolutely loved Shazam. Check out my review if you haven't already. Spoiler discussion coming soon. I loved Aquaman, loved Wonder Woman, so I'm loving where all this stuff is going right now. Questioning a little bit some of the other decisions they're making in greenlighting other movies or developing other movies, but that's a different conversation. But here's what some of Zack Snyder had to say about BvS and Justice League. I'm going to be quoting Heroic Hollywood's article here, as well as a little bit of Screen Rants, but you could find articles about this everywhere, and there's footage of him describing this too. So I just want to put that out there. So talking about the nightmare scene. Movies were working up to reach a post-apocalyptic future, all centered around the Flash's surprise time travel visit to Bruce Wayne in the Batcave from BvS. The way Snyder and Terio designed the time travel in the story was that Flash would have to run on the cosmic treadmill built in the Batcave, and he would be transported back in time to the same spot in space. That meant they had to choose a moment in time where the Earth was in the exact same location, so he didn't end up in the wrong location or even just land in the void of space. This left two windows for when he could go back. Batman and Cyborg, who had been damaged and apparently only half of him was left, devised a plan to warn Bruce in the past. This results in what we see in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, where Flash arrives in the Batcave and warns Bruce Lois is the key, but realizes he's too soon and says to find us. At that time, Batman didn't understand what Flash was talking about, but once he catches up in the future, where it's now his turn to send Barry Allen back, he asks Cyborg which window he'd send Barry through. If the choice was his, Bruce then selects the opposite one, knowing the window they choose last time resulted in Flash winding up and arriving too soon. This is where Snyder drops a major bombshell. The new window chosen for the Flash was intended to have him arrive in the Batcave moments before Darkseid himself boom-tubed in and killed Lois. As we've learned in the past, Superman goes evil after losing Lois, which makes him succumb to the anti-life equation. So Flash's mission was to stop that from happening. That right there, that would have been absolutely amazing. I remember in the theater watching BvS, and I was a fan of the theatrical cut. But when I saw that moment where Flash appears in the Batcave, I was like, oh my gosh. There's layers to this shit, man. Zack Snyder was on some next level shit with his storytelling. And hearing him and his plans for what would have developed in the sequel, it is just mind-blowing. I'm sad that we didn't get to see it happen. And I know we're not gonna see it happen, but gosh, just think about that, guys. Think about what he was planning to do with this thread. It would have threaded through all of the movies and tied back in later on. So all of us were left perplexed when the Flash made his appearance in BvS. All of us were speculating what that could have meant, but hearing this just sounds absolutely incredible. And Bruce Wayne does an absolutely hilarious thing right there in saying, you know, he didn't realize at the time what Flash was trying to say. So when it comes and happens in the future, he asks Cyborg, hey, which window would you choose to send him back in? And he chooses the opposite one because he knows whatever window Cyborg chose last time ended up here. That sounds absolutely amazing. And it sounds like a super creative way to utilize time travel. And it's super cool that Zack Snyder was digging deep into DC lore, exploring the anti-life equation, bringing out the cosmic treadmill. You know, that explains why Barry Allen was kind of reaching but couldn't couldn't really get through. It makes all the sense in the world now why he was just standing there trying to warn Bruce. Darkseid was a part of the picture, ends up killing Lois and turning Superman evil. And this is nuts, guys. So, you know, for all of you guys saying, oh, audiences don't want to see dark, they want to see cheerful superheroes, and Zack Snyder had something to say about that too. And I don't have the article in front of me, but he basically says, you guys are living in a fucking fantasy world. My heroes don't kill, whatever, this and that. And, you know, all of you guys who have been saying that in the comments are probably taking offense to this right now. Hey, you know, it's all good. You know, Zack Snyder has had to take all of this punishment from all of the bloggers and all of the haters this past year and a half, 2 years, whatever it's been since Justice League came out. And he's taking it all in stride. So for him to say this to you guys, you guys living in a fucking fantasy world, if heroes were here today, you know, would they have to kill? Would they, you know, would they have to make that hard decision? Would they have to lie to the public even? Probably. And I know that comics are in itself a fantasy, but what Zack Snyder was trying to do was ground this fantasy in a reality that we live in. So it was something totally different. Like he said in one of his earliest quotes when doing the Superman or Man of Steel movie, DC has to do something different. What Marvel's doing is cool, but DC needs to do something different. And what he had planned for DC sounded absolutely incredible. Not that I don't love what's coming here right now. Again, I love Shazam, loved Aquaman, loved Wonder Woman, you know. I pretty much loved all DC movies. I mean, I found enjoyment in all of them, you know. Every time I listen to this stuff and then go back and watch Justice League, I get a little more disappointed. Suicide Squad, I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed parts of it, but, you know, it really wasn't the best movie. But outside of that, I love DC. I love DC Comics. I love DC. So I'm always going to be a fan and supporting that. But hopefully with this new, you know, Kevin Sugihara leaving and with the direction they're going now, hopefully it goes up from here. Because you know, I'm fully on board with this DC train. But man, just to hear this from Zack Snyder sounds absolutely incredible. He also talked about post-credit scenes that we didn't get to see, interaction with Wonder Woman and Bruce, and it says, I was right. Bruce says, I was right here when Barry Allen came to me and said Lois Lane is the key. And then Wonder Woman says, she is to Superman. Every heart has one. And he goes, I think it's something more, something darker. So that apparently was one of the post-credit scenes we didn't get to see. I am very disappointed we didn't get to see it. But I am very glad that Zack Snyder was able to let this all out and the fans got a little bit of closure. But I'm sure, and I'm going to be part of this, there's going to be a lot of us that are going to be fighting for that Snyder cut and hoping it gets released. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about Zack Snyder's bombshells that he's dropped in here below. So the Snydercut exists, according to Chris from Twitter right here, and a fellow fan who was able to talk to him. And I can't wait to see all the other YouTubers who were at the event and got to talk to Zack Snyder themselves. I can't wait to see what they have to say. So other places that you can find video of Zack Snyder talking about this, I'm sure you can just Google it, but other fellow YouTuber Film Gob, if you haven't checked him out, he posted a lot of the footage as well on his channel, so check him out too. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video with any naysayer that you've come across about the Snyder Cut, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching again. I will catch you guys later. Peace.